Thank you for tuning in and checking out another episode of Unlucky, a memoir. My name is Kat. Everyone has a story. This one just happens to be mine. Welcome back. Where I left off last week has had me thinking, and to be honest, this past month or two has been a lot of thinking about my life, where I've been, what I've done, and even more important, where I'm at now, and hopefully where I'll be headed in the future. So, talking about attempting to take my life brought up some feelings, and one of the main things that I realized is that trying to take my life back in the day, I was scared. I was fearful. And that's probably the main reason I didn't attempt again and follow through. And every time I thought about it, I talked myself out of it out of fear, because I didn't want to die. And believe me, I'm grateful I didn't. But the irony is that, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to die, but I'm no longer afraid to die. My faith tells me that. And it made me start thinking about fear and all these unfounded fears that I used to live by. And I was just talking about this earlier in facilitation. I facilitated a group for clients, and I was talking about fear and how my life was dictated by fear. Fear controlled and drove my actions, my decisions, the way I treated others, the way I acted. Decisions I made were all fear-based. And as of recording this, tomorrow I have a certification exam for something that's really important to me. And I realized that there was anxiety and fear behind taking this test. And I had to really think about it, because fear is no longer driving me. And talking to people that I know and care about, talking about the nerves and the fear behind taking this test, it's a good fear. It's a good set of nerves, because it lets me know how important this is and how much I really want this. And then I also have to fall back on my faith that if this is what's supposed to happen, this is what's going to happen. And I do have faith. And I took a practice exam for this, and I did really well, and it eased a lot of my nerves. There's still fear, and there's still unfounded fears that creep into my life. Like, I forget what I was purchasing the other day. I was ordering something online, and the thought popped into my head, should I really get this? Because what happens if I end up unhoused again? What am I going to do with this stuff? What? And that's an unfounded fear, because I know what I'm doing. I'm moving forward in a good direction and following the path that's been laid out before me to the best of my ability. And I feel that I'm finally found my calling, my purpose. What I do means so much to me. And maybe that's where the fear comes from, because I'm so used to losing the good things that come into my life. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to rewire the brain into understanding that I am worthy of good things. I am worthy of the path that I'm on, of the direction I'm going, regardless of the actions I may have made, the decisions I made in my past. I was just talking with somebody last night and bringing up scripture, Hebrews 11, and people like to refer to it as the Hall of Faith because it talks about Abraham and David, Moses, Rahab, the prostitute who was in the lineage of Jesus. And the thing that it points out, all these people were flawed, but even greater so, all these people were found righteous by their faith, not by the works that they had done or performed or the acts, good, bad, or indifferent. It was by their faith. And today I feel I have a really strong foundation in my faith and believe that what comes next is what's supposed to come regardless, because I can look into my past and see everything that happened up to this point, good, bad, or indifferent, had a purpose. A friend of mine was commenting on Facebook about one of my past videos. And what if I would have gotten sober and recovery years ago, I wouldn't be on this journey to where I am now. And he's absolutely right. The life I lived was the exact one that I needed. There was times in my youth, in my 20s, I thought about becoming a drug and alcohol counselor. But looking back, it's a good thing I didn't. I was young, dumb, and thought I knew it all and didn't have the humility of life to ground me, to humble me, to understand that I don't know everything. That this is all a big mysterious journey that I'm undertaking. But it's a journey with a purpose. And like I said around New Year's, I hope that goalpost keeps moving for me. I don't want to reach my goals. And if I reach a goal, that was just a small goal on the way to a larger goal. And that larger goal will be revealed to me as I keep moving along this path. I don't ever want to settle. I don't ever want to be comfortable. I don't ever want that feeling of this is enough. And I'm not talking about monetary or worldly possessions. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about driving to become a better person on a daily basis. And reflecting over these past couple months about this journey I've been on, because it's coming up on 2 years in Colorado. And this journey stretches my whole life, but this, what I consider to be the positive turn in my life, has been the past 2 years. And it was willingness, commitment. I may have been motivated in the beginning by this, that, or the other, but the motivation fades. I found commitment and dedication to becoming a better person, having a better life. I still remember being asked, what do I want? What do I need? And how do I get it? And I said, a good life. I didn't really know what that was. And still not sure. I mean, my life is good, but it's not exactly there yet. And I hope it never gets there. I hope I keep pushing for a better life. And to have people trust in me, in my lived experience, and the knowledge or wisdom I've garnered over the years in helping them find recovery, maintain recovery, whatever it might be, for housing or to get to meetings, and point them in directions that have worked for me and maybe will work for them. Like, that means the world to me. That tells me everything I did in my past wasn't for nothing, right? And there's another passage in Romans 5:3. It talks about how we glory in our suffering, because our suffering, it's what gets us to this point. It's what builds us. The errors of our ways are what guide us in the right direction. I'm just so grateful to be the person I am today and the person I'm becoming. And I've said this on many videos. My goal, my mantra is not to be better than the next man, but to be better than the man I was yesterday. And these videos are a form of kind of like a therapy for me, I think, because I get to talk about this stuff and I get to admit my fears and retell some of the things I've been through. Because the more I tell them, the more I tell my story. That's why I'm so open and willing to share the things in my life. Because the more times I share it, the less it's mine, the less weight it carries, the less burden I'm carrying on my back. And if people get helped along the way, that's amazing. I am grateful for that too. This has been an intense journey, and I wasn't sure what I was going to share on this video tonight. If I was just going to continue the story from last week, or just get real and get honest and talk about how I'm feeling, because that's how this works, man. If I hold it in and I don't get it out, it does no good. It's just going to keep weighing down on me. I've just got promotions at work, and the faith that my boss has in me some days is greater than the faith I have in myself. And I just watched this video the other day that James Van Der Beek had posted before he had passed away from cancer. And he talked about who am I? And he said when he was young, he identified himself as an actor, which really wasn't that fulfilling. Then he got married and was a loving husband, and that meant a lot. And then he had kids, which was amazing and meant even more. He was a steward of the land that he lived on. And then he got cancer and had to face his own mortality, and realized as he's sitting in the hospital, he's not employable right now. So he's not an actor. Since he's not employable, he can't support his wife. And being away in the hospital, he can't emotionally support his wife. So he can't even be that loving, caring husband. He can't put his children to bed or take them to the park. So he can't even be the father. He can't even be the steward to the land he lives on because he's too skinny and weak to prune the trees on his property. So what is he? He posed that question. What am I? If I'm just a too skinny, weak man to uphold all these labels that I've given myself. And he said it, and it blew me away that he's worthy of God's love. And if he's worthy of God's love, he should be worthy of his own. And I need to start thinking about that and start forgiving myself for the person I was and start loving the person I'm becoming. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start loving the person I'm becoming. And hopefully next time we talk, I can share with you the results of my exam if I have them back in time. And with that, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you who comes along in this journey with me every week and checks out my story and just what I have to say. It's important to me. I hope it's important to you. And with that, thank you. I'll see y'all next week.